Hi and welcome back to my channel. I'm Kim and in today's video we are going to learn about the differences between the following four verbs, which are Viedä, Tuoda, Ottaa and Hakea. Each verb will be explained with theory, examples and conjugations. At the end of this video we will as always practice what we've learned today by solving some exercises together. So let's get started. Our first one is Viedä, which means to take away or to take somewhere. We use it in order to express that we take something away from the current location to another place, often with the intention of leaving it there. In some contexts, like for example, walking the dog or taking someone out for dinner, it can also imply that they will return together. Grammar-wise, Viedä goes with the elative case and or with the illative case. Now let's take a look at some examples. Our first one is Huomenna vien kirjeet postiin, means tomorrow I'll take the letters to the post office. Let's go step by step. Huomenna means tomorrow. Vien is the first person singular present tense of the verb viedä, which means to take away, and kirjeet is the nominative plural of kirja, which means letter. Why do we use the nominative plural here? Because we are talking about specific letters. And postiin is the illative case of posti, which means post office. Here we use viedä in order to express that we take the letters from the current location to another location, which is the post office, with the intention of leaving them there. So let's repeat again. Huomenna vien kirjeet postiin. Tomorrow I'll take the letters to the post office. Next one. Vein hänet autolla kotiin, means I took him or her home by car. Let's go step by step. Vein is the first person singular past tense of the verb viedä. Hänet is the accusative case of hän, which means he or she. It's our object here. Autolla here is the adjective case of auto, which means car. So autolla means by car. And kotiin here is the illative case of koti, which means home. So also here we use viedä because we want to express that we bring someone away from the current location to another location, again with the intention of leaving them there. So let's repeat again. Vein hänet autolla kotiin. I took him or her home by car. Next one. Jussi vie minut elokuviin, means Jussi takes me to the movies. Let's go step by step. Vie is the third person singular present tense of the verb viedä. Minut is the accusative case of minä, which means I, and elokuviin can be translated as to the movies. Remember, viedä is often used in specific contexts, like for example, taking someone out for dinner or taking someone to the movies. So let's repeat again. Jussi vie minut elokuviin. Jussi takes me to the movies. Alright, next one. Amy vie koiran ulos aamulla ja illalla, means Amy takes the dog out in the morning and in the evening. Let's go step by step. Vie is the third person singular present tense of the verb viedä. Koiran here is the genitive case of koira, which means dog. Ulos means to the outside. Aamulla means in the morning, ja means and illalla means in the evening. Here we use viedä because we want to say that Amy is walking the dog. So remember, in some contexts, for example, like walking the dog or taking someone out for dinner, the verb we need is viedä. So let's repeat again. Amy vie koiran ulos aamulla ja illalla. Amy takes the dog out in the morning and in the evening. Let's have another one. If you want to say that you can bring someone somewhere, you can say minä voin viedä sinut sinne, means I can take you there. So let's go step by step. Minä voin viedä means I can take. Sinut here is our object, standing here in the accusative case. And sinne is an adverb of movement, meaning to there. Again, here we use viedä because we want to express that we can take someone from the current location to another one. So let's repeat again. Minä voin viedä sinut sinne. I can take you there. Now the conjugations of viedä. Present tense, the positive forms. Minä vien sinä viet, hän vie, me viemme, te viette, and he vievät. The negative forms, minä en vie, sinä et vie, hän ei vie, me emme vie, te ette vie, and he eivät vie. Alright, our next verb is tuoda, which means to bring with. We use it in order to express that we bring something or someone from another location to a place where the listener is. Grammar-wise, it is used with the ilative case. Here's our first example. Voisitko tuoda minulle yhden lautasliinan? Means, could you bring me a napkin? Let's go step by step. Voisitko is a combination of the second person singular conditional form of voida plus the question marker go. So voisitko means could you. Tuoda here standing in its infinitive form. Minulle is the allative case of minä, which means I. Yhden is the genitive case of yksi, which means one. And lautasliinan is the genitive case of lautasliina, which means napkin. So here we use in our question tuoda because we are asking someone to bring a napkin from another location to our location, to our place. So let's repeat again. Voisitko tuoda minulle yhden lautasliinan? Could you bring me a napkin? Next one. Minä toin sinulle korvapuustin. I brought you a cinnamon bun. Let's go step by step. Toin is the first person singular past tense of the verb tuoda. Sinulle is the allative case of sinä, which means you. And korvapuustin here is the genitive case of korvapuusti, which means cinnamon bun. So here we use toin, the past tense of tuoda, in order to express that we brought a cinnamon bun from another location to the place where the listener is. So let's repeat again. Minä toin sinulle korvapuustin. I brought you a cinnamon bun. Next one. Minä tuon valokuvat mukanani. Means I'll bring the photos with me. So tuon is the first person singular present tense of the verb tuoda. Valokuvat is the nominative plural of valokuva, which means photo. Here we use the nominative plural because we are referring to a specific amount of pictures. And mukanani is a combination of mukana plus the possessive suffix ni. So mukanani can be translated as along with me. Here in this sentence again we use tuoda because we want to express that we bring something, like in this case the pictures, from another location to the place where the listener is. So let's repeat again. Minä tuon valokuvat mukanani. I'll bring the photos with me. One more. Minä tuon paketin postista. Means I'll bring the package from the post office. Let's go step by step. Minä tuon means I bring. Tuon is the first person singular present tense of the verb tuoda. Paketin here is the genitive case of paketti, which means package. And postista means from the post office. Here we use the verb tuoda in order to express that we bring something, like for example the package, from another location, which is the post office, to the place where the listener is. Minä tuon paketin postista. I'll bring the package from the post office. Now the conjugations of tuoda. Present tense, the positive forms. Minä tuon, sinä tuot, hän tuo, me tuomme, te tuotte, and he tuovat. The negative forms. Minä en tuo, sinä et tuo, hän ei tuo, me emme tuo, te ette tuo, and he eivät tuo. Alright, our third verb is ottaa, which means to take. We use it in order to express that we take something into our possession or control. We also use it when we order something at a restaurant, bar, or coffee shop, or when we take pictures and so on. Grammar-wise, it is used with the elative case or the ablative case. Here's our first example. Otan maitoa jääkaapista. Means I take milk from the fridge. Let's go step by step. Otan is the first person singular present tense of the verb ottaa, which means to take. Maitoa is the partitive case of maito, which means milk. And jääkaapista means from the fridge. It's the elative case of jääkaappi. So here it's very simple. We use ottaa in order to express that we take something from the fridge. Let's repeat again. Otan maitoa jääkaapista. I take milk from the fridge. Next one. Minä otin kuvan tästä tornista means I took a picture of this tower. Let's go step by step. Otin is the first person singular past tense of the verb ottaa, which means to take. Kuvan is the genitive case of kuva, which means picture. Tästä is the elative case of tämä, which means this. And tornista is the elative case of torni, which means tower. So tästä tornista means of this tower. Here we use ottaa because this is the verb that we have to use when we want to express in Finnish that we take a picture. So let's repeat again. Minä otin kuvan tästä tornista. I took a picture of this tower. Next one. You might sometimes see saa ottaa. In English it means free to take. This is a phrase which is often used for newspapers. There's not much more to say here. Next one. Minä ottaisin lasin vettä. Kiitos means I take a glass of water please. So ottaisin is the first person singular conditional form of otta, which means to take. We use the conditional form, by the way, when we want to sound polite. And lasin is the genitive case of lasi, which means glass. And vettä is the partitive case of vesi, which means water. Here we use the partitive case because we're talking about an indefinite amount of water. And kiitos, you probably know, means thank you. When we order at a restaurant or at a bar or coffee shop, we usually use the verb ottaa. Let's repeat again. Minä ottaisin lasin vettä. Kiitos. I'd take a glass of water, please. One more. Saanko ottaa tämän lehden means can I take this newspaper? Let's go step by step. Saanko is a combination of the first person singular present tense plus the question marker ko. So saanko means can I? Literally it means am I allowed to? Ottaa here standing in its infinitive form. Tämän is the genitive case of tämä, which means this, and lehden is the genitive case of lehti, which means newspaper. Let's repeat again. Saanko ottaa tämän lehden? Can I take this newspaper? Now the conjugations of ottaa. Present tense, the positive forms. Minä otan, sinä otat, hän ottaa, me otamme, te otatte, and he ottavat. The negative forms. Minä en ota, sinä et ota, hän ei ota, me emme ota, te ette ota, and he eivät ota. Our next verb is hakea, which means to go get something or to fetch. We use it in order to express that we go somewhere to get or fetch something and then return with it. Hakea often implies purpose, intent, or goal-directed action, mainly fetching something needed. Grammar-wise, it's usually used with the elative case. Here's our first example. Lauantaina haen ystäväni lentoasemalta. Means on Saturday I'll pick up my friend from the airport. Let's go step by step. Lauantaina means on Saturday. It's the essive case of lauantai, which means Saturday. So lauantaina means on Saturday. Haen is the first person singular present tense of the verb hakea. Ystäväni means my friend. And lentoasemalta is the ablative case of lentoasema, which means airport. So here in this sentence we use hakea in order to express that we get someone and return with them. So let's repeat again. Lauantaina haen ystäväni lentoasemalta means on Saturday I'll pick up my friend from the airport. Next one. Minä haen maitoa, hedelmiä ja voita means I'll get milk, fruits and butter. Let's go step by step. Haen is the first person singular present tense of the verb hakea. Maitoa is the partitive case of maito, which means milk. Hedelmia is the partitive case of hedelme, which means fruit, and voita is the partitive case of voi, which means butter. So here we use Hakea again in order to emphasize that we get food from somewhere, for example from a store, and return with it. Let's repeat again. Minä hän maitoa, hedelmiä ja voita. I'll get milk, fruits and butter. Next one. Voin hakea sinut Viedältä means I can pick you up at 5. Let's go step by step. Voin hakea means I can get, I can fetch, I can pick up. Sinut here is our object. It's the accusative case of sinä, which means you. And Viedältä here means at 5 o'clock. Here we use the ablative case of viisi. So here in this sentence again we use Hakea because we want to express that we get someone from somewhere and return with them. Let's repeat again. Voin hakea sinut Viedältä. I can pick you up at 5. Next one. Minä haen lehden postilaatikosta means I fetch or get the newspaper from the mailbox. Let's go step by step. Haen here is the first person singular present tense of the verb hakea. Lehden is the genitive case of lehti, which means newspaper. And postilaatikosta is the elative case of postilaatikko, which means mailbox or postbox. Again, also here we use hakea in order to express that we get the newspaper from the mailbox and return with it. So let's repeat again. Minä haen lehden postilaatikosta. I fetch or get the newspaper from the mailbox. Now the conjugations of hakea. Present tense, the positive forms. Minä haen, sinä haet, hän hakee, me haamme, te haatte, and he hakevat. The negative forms. Minä en hae, sinä et hae, hän ei hae, me emme hae, te ette hae, and he eivät hae. Now we arrived at our last chapter for today, the exercises. For each exercise we have 5 seconds. Here's our first one. Fill in the gap. We want to say, tomorrow I'll take the letters to the post office. Huomenna, kirjeet postiin. Do we need here vien, haen, or otan? That's right, the answer is vien. Huomenna vien kirjeet postiin. Tomorrow I'll take the letters to the post office. Next one, fill in the gap. We want to say, on Saturday I'll pick up my friend from the airport. Lauantaina, ystäväni lentoasemalta. Do we need here haen, otan, or vien? That's right, the answer is haen. Lauantaina haen ystäväni lentoasemalta. On Saturday, I'll pick up my friend from the airport. Next one, we wanna ask, could you bring me a napkin? Voisitko minulle yhden lautasliinan? Do we need here Tuoda, Viedä, or Hakea? That's right, the answer is Tuoda. Voisitko tuoda minulle yhden lautasliinan? Could you bring me a napkin? Next one, we wanna say, Jussi took me to the movies. Jussi, minut elokuviin. What do we need here? Hint, here we need the third person singular past tense. Alright, the answer is Jussi vei minut elokuviin. Jussi took me to the movies. Next one, we wanna say I brought you a cinnamon bun. Minä sinulle korvapuustin. What do we need to fill in? Hain, toin, or otin? That's right again. Minä toin sinulle korvapuustin. I brought you a cinnamon bun. And our last one, we wanna say I'll take milk from the fridge. Maitoa jääkaapista. What do we need to fill in? Hint, here we need the first person singular present tense. Excellent. The answer is otan. Otan maitoa jääkaapista. I'll take milk from the fridge. That's it for today. I hope you liked this video. If you want to learn more Finnish, please don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Thank you so much for watching. Have a nice day and see you next time.